All right, welcome to the Bowling Fools channel. So today I'm going to do maybe a 5-minute video per request on the Vevor milling table that I got last year for drilling bowling balls. So this was $115 on Amazon. And that's what it looks like right there. They have them in stock. They sell out pretty quickly. So you know, if they're out of stock, I would wait about a week or so and they'll come back in stock. So this is the Vevor. It's also known as the Moforn milling table. It's a 17.7 by 6 and 7 inch compound milling table, 2-axis, 4 ways. I was looking for something cheap that wasn't going to break the bank to help, you know, just a cheap milling table to help drill my bowling balls and move the XY axis. So I got this. Came a couple days later. I've added a few things on here. So I've added some adhesive rulers. So you can see on here, if you can barely see that, there's little notches. It's really hard to tell on these knobs. And you can probably put a ruler or numbers on here, but then you'd have to count how many times, right? Yeah, I think it's like 6 times equals an inch. So in order to not create a nightmare in my head and realize, oh, how many times did I turn? Actually, here, yeah, there's a 0. You can see that. 0. Okay, we got some numbers. Super hard to see those numbers. 3. They got a 2, got a 1. Okay, so I can barely read that stuff. So what I did is I spent, what was it? I got this. So it is workbench ruler adhesive back tape, 30-inch, and it's zeroed out in the middle. And this was $6.99 on Amazon. And I taped right here on there, just cut it, because you're not really, when you're drilling bowling balls, you know, like I am, you don't really need more than like an inch. I just put 2 inches there just for fun. And so this is the x-axis, the one that goes like this, sideways, you know, horizontally like this. And I'm just turning this knob, and it's moving that, right? And I know exactly where I am. Now, this doesn't give you every little centimeter, right? So it's just like, you know, there's 2, 4, 6, there's a half, right? And you just kind of have to do the math. It is pretty exact. When I'm drilling bowling balls, it's really exact. I also put these 2 arrows on here. I bought these on Amazon as well, too. And I'll show you that. So it's these. It is the stainless steel fishtail center gauge. Screw thread lathe cutting tool. See, it's just a gauge, and unfortunately they're currently unavailable. So I think the first time I was looking for them on Amazon, they were available, and then I waited a week and they were unavailable, and now they were available like a week later. So just wait a little bit if they're out of stock, and they probably will have them in the next week or so. And they don't, that one didn't ship prime, so that one got to me in about a week. But what I did is I just put JB Weld on the back, just a couple, mixed some JB Weld, put a couple dabs on the back right here, and I put that one for the y-axis as well too, if you can see that. And same thing, I put that adhesive ruler tape right there, just so it's easy to read. I don't have to do mental math if I put numbers on this dial and just kind of rotate, so you get it zeroed out. So what I did before I put this tape down, if you are drilling bowling balls, is set up your jig. This is a custom jig that I sell. By the way, if you're interested in a custom jig, email me at thebowlingfool@gmail.com. I should have the second batch available in a week or two. Is I put the ball on here. I use the plug cutter, right? And you can see in my other videos how to do that. And I drop the drill press down until it hits the ball, and there shouldn't be any gap. So this is the perfect curvature, fits the perfect curvature of a bowling ball. And you should see no light when you're the x-axis, the y-axis and the x-axis, right? So once you get that zeroed out, then you can put this adhesive tape on 0. So just move the table until it's all zeroed out, and then just put your adhesive tape on here where this is 0 and that's 0 for the y-axis. One thing that I had to do, and this may be different based on your drill press table, is if I can kind of show you the bottom there. I don't know if it's going to show, but there's kind of like an angle right here, and some drill presses have, I don't know if you can see the back there, like straight slots here for your T-nut, and some of them go all the way to the front. Unfortunately, the Delta 18-900L does not go all the way to the front, so it stops halfway. So what I did is the bottom of the mill press, or sorry, the mill table here wouldn't fit this table, right? So what I had to do is I just bought I think it's a 12 by 12 by half or by 1 inch aluminum plate on Amazon. I think I paid like $40 for it. By the way, aluminum is jacked up in price right now due to the tariffs, so just keep that in mind. Aluminum, what was once cheaper, it's not a whole bunch more, but it is a little bit more. You'll definitely notice the price difference when you do buy aluminum now if you have bought it in the past. So I've drilled a couple holes to line up with the actual T-nut slot, and so I could put some bolts here going into some T-nuts right there, and then I also put some down underneath the front part, so there's no movement at all, and it just creates a proper fit onto this table. Now, like I said, your drill press table may fit it perfectly. Mine just didn't, so I just had to makeshift one. It was real easy to make. Took me like a half hour to drill the holes or whatnot and fit it in. So I also have bolts here holding this in onto the aluminum plate. So I also drilled some holes in aluminum plate. I got those in with a washer and lock washer, and kind of show you the backside as well too. So same thing on that. I got washers, lock washers. The bolts fit in there super tight, and this sucker is not moving one bit. You're definitely going to want to clean this when you get it, because they do put an anti-corrosive material coating on the actual table itself. So just make sure you clean it off, clean off the bottom of it. What I did is I got some WD-40 and I got a Scotch-Brite pad, and I just kind of brushed it off, made it look nice and clean, and I put a light coat of WD-40 on it just to protect it. And the only reason I use this milling table is for drilling bowling balls. Right, so one thing you want to be aware of, especially if you have a drill press like mine, which is the Delta 18-900L, this is not a mill press. This is a drill press. So when I'm drilling, so if you don't know the difference, a drill press is meant to go vertically up and down, right? A mill press, say I was drilling this, and as I'm drilling, I'm moving this, okay? And if you can see these holes right here on the bottom plate of the ball jig, this was machined with a mill, pretty much like a mill press, custom machine, mill machine, which can handle the rigors of a side load, right? So this whole shaft here and the quill and all that can handle a side load. Your professional mill presses are going to run like $3,000 a start. I didn't want to go that route just because it was a little bit too much money, so I got this drill press. The mill press can come in handy if you want to machine aluminum parts and you want to make longer holes, right? So you're pretty much essentially just putting this down, and as you have the drill down, like I said, you're just moving this table and it's cutting that hole. This press is not designed, so be careful with your cheap, I wouldn't say cheap, but if it's labeled as a drill press, do not use it as a mill press, because you'll void your warranty and you'll probably mess up your drill press. So the whole reason I got this for bowling balls is so that I move it to get the pitches that I want while the drill press is not moving. And then I drill. Like I said, I go vertically up and down. Let's see what else I can think. It's pretty much self-explanatory. I did put some lithium grease on the tracks on the wheel there, so just to help it move a little bit better. It didn't have any problem moving. Make sure that these are tight. And then on this side too as well, you've got one here, and make sure that's tight as well too. A lot of people complain this is really cheap. Well, yeah, it's $115. It's not going to be a insanely good quality piece of equipment. But you know what? When I drill bowling balls, my pitches, when I check the pitches, they are accurate to the exact centimeter that I wanted, right? So if I wanted 3/8, I get 3/8 when I check it with my pitches. So this thing does what I need it to do. Is it a $500 or $1,000 XY table? No. But for $115, you can't complain. Another complaint with this, a lot of people say is, oh, this is loose, right? Because the screw doesn't go all the way down. It kind of stops on the backside. Same thing. If you want this tight, just get bushings or whatever. You can put some bushings here, or maybe a nut, or something to make it tighter if you wanted to do that. Me, I don't give a rat's ass. All I care about is this thing turns and gets the number that I need. I'm not picky. But that's one of the complaints that some people had. Other than that, it's a pretty solid piece of equipment. I mean, it's pretty solid. This thing's heavy. I want to say it's probably like close to, I don't know exact number, but it's probably 30 to 40 pounds. So, yeah, if you have any questions about the Vevor milling table, hopefully I've answered quite a bit of them. And I've referred a lot of people to this one that are buying my bowling ball jig. And by the way, the next version, the second version bowling ball jig should be done in a week or two, hopefully. And what I have done is I've changed these locations. This is 4 inches. These are 4 inches apart to fit this table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it more versatile for pro shops that use a mill press that have a bigger, wider, deeper mill table, right? So I'll have these set up for the mill press, mill tables, and I'm going to drill two small holes here that will fit the Vevor milling table, just so it's more accessible to more people, because this was kind of limited to people that just had the Vevor milling table. So hopefully that will open up some doors. I know a lot of people asked for that in my pro shop. I actually sold one of these in my pro shop, and we had to angle it a little bit, where we just put, he has a professional mill press. So the table is, I think it's 5/8, and he uses 1/2 inch bolts. By the way, these will be 1/2 inch on the newer version, and then I'll keep the 3/8, 2 holes right here for the 3/8 for this table. So it'll be nice and easy to install, versatile. If you ever do upgrade to a professional mill press table, you'll have that option, and you can just swap this over to that one too as well. Let's see what else. Yeah, so these are 1/2 inch. I'll have the 3/8 there, and that's it. So just make it, like I said, making it more widely accessible. If you have any questions about the Vevor milling table, let me know, and I'll be sure to answer it in the comments. And if you like this video, hopefully I answered a lot of your questions. Make sure to like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thanks for watching, everybody.